Yo, what is going on, my fellow weebs? Chrono here, and welcome back to the channel. So we have a different video today. It's another SAO Fractured Daydream video, but we have a patch note reading for Fractured Daydream. But before we jump to that, if you're new here, as always, I'm Chrono, I'm primarily cover PS2, but we do dive our hands into other games as well. We much appreciate a subscribe as we work our way towards that 10K mark, hopefully by the end of this year. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump into this. So Bandai has patch notes listed. This is interesting. This is fun. I haven't done this for SAO before, so if this is something you guys are interested in, I'm not sure if people actually cover the patch notes regularly, but something I tend to do for other games that I play, so I figured why not toss it up for Fractured Daydream as well. Let's go ahead and get through the patch notes, see what's changed. Maybe we'll jump in a game and see if we notice anything different there as well. Let's go ahead and scroll on through. So start things off, they of course post, when the implementation of the patch was and the maintenance, all that stuff. So first thing I've listed is some adjustments, drop rate adjustments, increase the drop rate of epic and legendary weapons. I really wish they got percentages for this, because for some people they are just extraordinarily unlucky and believe everything's terrible. For others, they're crazy lucky and feel like that everything works as designed. So with actual numbers, we could tell who actually is lucky and who is actually truly unlucky. But it also tells us that it's gone up. So it could be like it was 1% and now it's 2. It was 0% or 0.5%, now it's 0.7. Who knows? At the end of the day, if we don't have an actual number, we can't really tell you how much it's actually increased. So it's a little bit like good, cool. Drop rate adjustments, it increased. That is objectively W, but by how much? Who knows? Change the level design for Ruins of Truth and Lies. Interesting. Adjusted the number of flying enemies and the missions that appear throughout the map. I don't know if the change of level design is this, or they change the level design and also this is part of it as well. I'm not 100% sure. We'll have to see. Ease the conditions for defeating enemies in free roam. Change the damage dealt when landing the last attack, making it count as additional 25% damage. Hold on. Ease the conditions for defeating enemies in free roam. Change the damage dealt when landing the last attack, making it count as an additional 25% damage. But why does that matter? I'm trying to sit here and think about this, and I can't come up with a reason why we would really care about that additional attack, the last attack dealing more damage. I guess it's getting your last hit, making it a little easier over other targets, things like that. We'll have to see. I'm not 100% sure on that one. And then we've got some bug fixes. It's kind of sad. This is all the adjustments we've got. Would have liked to see maybe some character changes, but yeah, it is what it is. Maybe it's a little early to be asking for that. So bug fixes. Fix an issue preventing the game from loading past customized screen when playing story mode in the easy difficulty and choosing the Tower of Determination. When playing story mode in the easy difficulty and then choosing the Tower of Determination. All different types of bugs, huh? Fix an issue causing the game to shut down on the Xbox Series S when configuring for graphics mode and performing a synchro counter on the Quest SBC Trommel. Interesting, because I know there's other people that have had crashes during Trommel when they've messed with their graphics and actually lowered the graphics. This has been on PC specifically though. I fixed a bug causing players to lose the weapons and accessories carried over from the OT when a quest cannot be completed properly due to an error or other external factors. Oh, okay. So do you keep your drops then if you get the completion? I don't know. We'll have to see. Fixed the bug causing humanoid enemies to remain on screen during Skull Reaper boss raid. Humanoid enemies. Oh, okay. I guess because yeah, like during base transitions and like load screens, things like that, usually everything is off screen. It's just the boss and maybe you, if you're still moving around, you happen to have stun resistance. But yeah, I guess you could get beat up during the boss raid during times where you wouldn't have control of your character. That would kind of suck. I fixed a bug preventing the total number of obtained coal from displaying properly in battle records. I'll be honest with you guys, that's not the only thing not showing up properly in battle records. It's pretty bugged. It's pretty messed up. I fixed a bug occasionally preventing items from displaying properly when engaging in aid requests. Partially improved upon the rare issue causing items to disappear from the results screen. Fixed other minor bugs. Fixed some of the text. And then distributed 3 lucky charms to compensate players for the emergency maintenance implemented on October 10th. Well, honestly, the fact that they're giving out lucky charms for emergency maintenance, W. But there's more that's needed in these patch notes. I would like to see some adjustment for characters There are some that are just absolutely ridiculous under specific circumstances. Heathcliff is the first to come to mind. That dude absolutely destroys everything. The character that literally has everything. And I mean, I think the only thing he doesn't have is speed, to be perfectly honest. And even then, his jump dash is pretty fast too. So not to say that I want to see things nerfed specifically, but I would like to see them start to do some character adjustments just to show that they plan to do any whatsoever. But that was just one example. There's a bunch of other ones in the mix. Also would have liked to see, I got to find out what they mean by this specifically. Is it just this, like just the number of flying enemies and missions that appear throughout the map? If so, that's not the real issue with Ruins of Truth and Lies. If you guys have ever seen people complain about, like, you know, the rush meta of co-op quests, it's mostly Ruins of Truth and Lies at tier 3, to be perfectly honest. And I understand the complaints. It's not fun. If you're a flying character, you absolutely can get to basically the end of the quest very, very quickly once you get to that middle map where everyone is together. If you're not a flying character, you have to run, and it's pretty dangerous, kind of annoying. But the real irritation there in most situations are people are not geared equally. So you'll find people that are even geared to the teeth that are rushing to the very end of the quest. So of course, make it as fast as possible, having somewhat of a better time, while maybe you just got into that tier of quest and you're really struggling to keep up with dealing enough damage to a target. I mean, in a lot of cases with Ruins of Truth and Lies, you end up in situations where you're like level 8 to 10 against level 25 enemies plus, which doesn't seem like that big of a deal when you're doing things like boss raids, but regular enemies, when they're like two-shotting you or maybe almost one-shotting you in most situations, it gets to be a huge pain in the ass. So I figured they were going to make adjustments to make it so you can't fly through the map like that, but it doesn't look like that's the case. It just might be changing the missions that appear throughout the map. Maybe change them in a way that you have to complete specific missions to be able to get to other portions of the map. That might be what they're doing. Other than that, I feel like this is the only place where that's really an issue. The rest of the rush meta for everything else is just rush the objectives. And honestly, that's not that big of a deal. If you really get irritated with people rushing objectives and you're not getting enough leveling done, a lot of objectives require completion of, like, you know, hitting specific consoles and things like that. And if you really care about getting your experience up, I'd highly recommend making sure you have EXP up on some of your gear, and then just go ahead and make sure that while people are doing that, you go ahead and farm a couple of enemies. It does help out quite a bit for what you're doing overall, and you will find that you can keep your experience up a decent amount and you won't really fall behind. It's really just Ruins of Truth and Lies that kind of feels like crap. And even then, it's not the end of the world. It just, I understand where people are like, oh, this sucks, like I hate this, so on and so forth. But that's really about it when it comes down to the patch notes. After going through this, honestly, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to probably play some Ruins of Truth and Lies, or play a couple of missions and see how things have changed. And then we'll come back and talk about, you know, maybe, you know, the drop rates, or maybe how Ruins has changed, possibly in another video. Because I mean, if I went through all of that right now, it would be a really, really weird and kind of long video. Let me know how you guys feel about that in the comments below. You guys like me to go out and test things as part of like the update videos? Maybe we can make separate videos after we've tested stuff to kind of report on what has changed and what hasn't changed. Or if you guys are even into these sort of videos at all in the first place. SAO is something that's new on my channel. It's not something that I do very often. Like I mentioned beforehand, I'm very much into PSO2, but we do want to kind of mess around with other games in the mix, and reading through some of these patch notes is actually pretty fun for me. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Like if you enjoyed the video. Some of you want to keep up with more. As always, thank you to the channel members. You guys are fantastic, and I appreciate every single one of you. And I will see you all in the next one. Take care, my friends. Peace out.